Salem Dostar. Welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh, and I know I've been gone for a while. As many of you know, I was sick. I actually contracted COVID, and I was down for a while, probably at least a couple of weeks, just trying to get through it and recover. I'm doing better now. I'm probably about 80%, back to full health. But it definitely was an experience. I'd have to say one of the weirdest things about COVID was this whole thing where I lost my sense of taste and sense of smell. That for me was really weird and challenging because I didn't want to eat anything. Everything tasted like cardboard, and just I'm still kind of getting that back. So it's just starting to come back now. But I mean, a nice side effect from that is that I lost 10 pounds, but not the way I would recommend that one loses weight. Anyway, happy to be back. Happy to be doing reactions again for all of you. And I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful new year. One of the reasons I chose this song, even though I've done Dimash more recently than some of the other artists on my channel, I just felt like this song was one that I needed to do, and I know it carries a lot of power with it from what you all have commented, and I don't know, maybe there's a special reason I'm supposed to react to this. But I will add more reactions later this weekend, and I am planning on getting back into it. I did just start a new job recently, and so that's also kept me very busy, coming up to speed and learning. But I am dedicated to the channel and all of you, and I appreciate your patience through this process. But yeah, so let's get right into it. So the lyrics, and I'm having trouble finding sources for translation, for pronunciation, for Kazakh. Google Translate doesn't do it. I found this site Forvo that has come through on some things, but it didn't offer me anything for this. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name of the song, those who contributed to the song. I apologize for that. If you want to put it in the comments down below, some phonetic guidance on how to pronounce everything, that would be very helpful. So I believe it's Qaragym-ai is the song title, and the translation I found from Lyric Translate, which is what many of you have suggested and I've used in the past, was Apple of My Eye, which makes sense with what I read from the composer of the music, Kinis Duizakiv, and the person that wrote the lyrics, Shomish Sariev. So Shomish wrote it for his daughter who was getting married, and he wanted to kind of write the words regarding her wedding and his hopes for her future and the love that she would have and what was important to her looking forward in her life. Kinas did it for a little different reason. His inspiration for the music was around his sister, I believe, who died when she was 19 before she had an opportunity to be married. And so it was kind of like looking at, okay, if I was the father and my daughter was able to live and get married, what would that music be like? And so that's kind of what I picked up from one of the sites. I found some more information about the song. The other thing that was really neat to read about was, I think it was the 70th anniversary of Forkinus, and he was there was a concert they were putting on, and Dimash came to him and said he wanted to sing this song at the concert, and he was reluctant at first because Dimash was like 16 at the time, because the song carries such deep meaning. And the article said that basically he told Dimash to come and sing early before the concert so he could hear it. And he was really surprised by how deeply Dimash felt it and understood the meaning of the song. And he never doubted him after that. And so I'm really excited to react to this. These are the lyrics from the Lyric Translate. Apple of my eye, the beauty should be in this way. It lands to a head without wishing. People were visitors in life. This world was actually short. Apple of my eye, gazelles were gushing like this. Who can block you in your way? Why is this heart prouding? To whom will this fate add you? Apple of my eye, you looked at my breaking and falling to pieces. How beautiful your pupils which are looking are. Apple of my eye, this life was passing by this way. If you don't love, this world was in vain. If you stack all your life as pages, is it equal to one of your days you loved? So that's really like a profound statement there. If you stack all your life as pages, is it equal to one of your days you loved? So that love that you can have is so important that it can equal a life of pages if that life was lived without love. That is very profound and very true, right? What would life be without love? Apple of my eye, you looked at my breaking and falling to pieces. How beautiful your pupils which are looking are. And it repeats itself. So I'm assuming that that is something to do with how beautiful are your eyes, which are looking. And well, I don't know if that has some kind of symbolism, like looking ahead. Looking meaning like hoping. I think there could be more to it than that. But this carries special meaning to me as well because so I'm the dad that videos everything, right? So my kids growing up, I'm always like, have the camera out and I'm videoing all their special moments, their baseball games, swimming in the pool with their brothers, doing their little skits and their little songs and dances and all the little things that they do, Christmas and of course all those things. So I have all these tapes. They're actually like this. These digital 8 tapes. And I've been storing them away and trying to go through them and cataloging them, indexing them into a spreadsheet. And my goal was to, transfer all of the memories, the videos that are on the tapes into a digital format so that I can, put them out on YouTube on my other channel in an unlisted way so that I can give access to loved ones and relatives and friends so they can kind of share in those memories. So that was kind of my goal, was number one, to get it in a digital format so that it can remain over time and not, deteriorate like the tapes tend to do. And the other was to get it out where I can be, I can share it. But it's just been really touching and neat to watch and refresh on some of the memories of my boys growing up. I have 2 boys in college now, one left at home who's a sophomore in high school. So my kids are a little older. And so it's been nice to reflect on some of our awesome memories together. And so this song carries special meaning that way, because I could have within the next year or two a son who ends up getting married and embarks on that adventure. So with that, let's jump right into this. I picked the most recent version of this because I was told that this concert happened shortly after the music composer Kinas passed away. And from what I've read, it really does sound like Dimash had a special relationship with him. And so from my understanding is that he had a hard time getting through this concert because he was thinking about his dear friend. And so I'm prepared to feel all that. And Dimash brings that emotion to each of his performances anyway. So this should be very special. I wasn't able to find one with English subtitles, so we'll just have to. That's part of why I read the lyrics. If you haven't already, if you could please click on the subscribe and the notifications bell so you can be notified of any new Dimash reactions or any others you may be interested in, and support the channel, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Qaragym-ai, сұлулық осындай болады екен, бір басқа армансыз қонады екен. Адамдар өмірге қонақ екен, жанымен бұл дүние шолақ екен. Қарағым-ай, қиылып үзіліп қарадың-ай, қараған қандай сұлу жанарыңа.
So I love how it's just him and the piano, this beautiful setting. You can tell that this is a special moment for him. And there's looks like they have a picture there of Kinas. His voice, I've said this before, but his tone is just pure and resonant. He's not singing loud right now. He's just singing very tenderly, but yet the resonance and the richness of the sound still comes through in what he's singing. I love his vibrato. Because I've talked about this before with some of my other reactions about how different vibratos vibrate differently, right? So some are very quick and some are very slow and pronounced, right? Especially like low basses, and some of them have that. But with Dimash, and the other thing that he can do is, as we've learned through the course of my reactions, is he can control the airflow and the vibrato and the timbre and the quality and the way it comes through. So he can choose, because of his just unfathomable control of his instrument, he can choose how he wants to sing and present the sound. But this is beautiful.
Qaragym-ai, yelektir osılay şılsat iken, şolundan seni kim tosat iken, pul köngüldeliktin bosat iken, ol taqdir seni kimge qosat ekan. Qaragym-ai, qiyalab üzülüp qaradың-ay, qaragан qanday sulu жанарыңа.
You can tell he's fighting back the emotion. And I've talked about this before with some of the performances that I've done. It can be really hard when you really are feeling something very strong and the emotion is there during a performance. I told this story a while back, but my grandmother passed away unexpectedly several years back, and her side of the family is kind of from the Irish side, and so one of her favorite songs was Danny Boy, and so they wanted me to sing Danny Boy at her funeral. And normally I can just kind of power through and kind of push the emotion down, but I couldn't make it through. I made it about halfway, and then I just broke down and I couldn't finish it. So when someone is close to you like that, it's really hard, but it can really bring a lot of power to the performance when you're able to really harness that feeling and bring that through in the way you sing. He's doing a fantastic job. It's a tender song. He's not really doing a lot of vocal acrobatics. He's not, adding all these flowery runs and all this other stuff to the song. He's just singing it and tenderly, and very simple melody, and it's beautiful. He's bringing more power to it now.
Арақтап жинаған бар ғұмырым, бір сүйген күніңе жетем екен. Қарағым-ай, қиялап үзіліп қарадың-ай, қараған қандай сұлу жанарыңа. Қарағым-ай, қиялап үзіліп қарадың-ай, қараған қандай сұлу жанарыңа.
Beautiful. Wow. That was beautiful. Um, yeah, and I didn't really like stop and go back and do a lot of that in this reaction. I think I just really wanted to kind of, um, experience it and not do as much of kind of the vocal analysis that I normally do. And part of that is I think that the way that Dimash approached the song, he, as I mentioned before, he didn't really like test his voice in a way where he was doing a lot of different things, right? I mean, he wasn't, pushing up into his mix and his, upper range, jumping into his whistle, doing crazy runs, any of that, right? So, it was just a very tenderly sung tribute to this man that meant so much to him. And the more that I see Dimash perform and do these things and pay tribute like he did here, he's special, not just as a vocalist, but as a person. He's an old soul. He is the very definition of an old soul because he has wisdom way beyond his years. I mean, I have to remind myself how young he is. Because he acts like he's already lived like many years and experienced many things. And that's really what wisdom is, right? And I'd like to think that I'd have some of that because of the things that I've experienced in my life with my children and everything else. But how does someone his age have that wisdom and that love and that insight? I don't understand it. He's definitely special. And for him, like I said, to be able to just contain all that and the emotion he's feeling and to be able to just bring that through in a very tender performance of his mentor's song, it's awesome. I loved it. And my heart goes out to him, And like I said, I've experienced that with those I care about, passing on, and it brought all that to the forefront of my mind. And I think that's part of why I picked this song, with my experience with COVID, because it just reminded me of how precious life really is, How precious is life? How precious is each day with our loved ones? We need to treasure each moment with those we care about that are around us, and our children and our families and our dear friends. I was reminded of that with this whole experience with COVID. And part of what scared me through all of it is my wife. She got COVID and she also had pneumonia, and she has a lot of lung issues. She's very susceptible to lung infections, respiratory infections, things like that. So we got her on a full round of powerful antibiotics, which I think helped. But I was in between jobs, so I didn't have, my insurance hadn't kicked in yet. So we were literally stuck, because if we had to go to the hospital, then we would have had to pay for all that. At least up until like the 1st of January. So it was scary there for a little bit. But again, I love Dimash. His voice is incredible. He can sing in any range. He kind of stayed in his kind of upper chest voice for most of this song, but he still sounded amazing. And that's the thing. He doesn't have to try. He doesn't have to do all those other things to be an amazing singer. And part of what makes him amazing is that he brings something special and the full emotion and power to each of his performances, regardless of what he's singing about. And that's part of what makes him special. And to segue from that, I hope that all of you understand and know that you are special. I recently uploaded one of my covers called Hold On, the Light Will Come. And it was in response to many of those that I see on this Facebook group I'm a part of called Worldwide Unified. And basically the group is just, there are people that go on there and they're really struggling. They have a child that has like cancer and or a loved one that has just discovered they have stage 4 cancer or is undergoing a surgery, or someone's picked up COVID and they're really sick. You know, there's different, and there's also people on there that are depressed or addicts, and so they're really, you know, struggling with loneliness and depression. So that's part of why I picked that song and the message behind it, because it is powerful, and we need to know that we can hold on and that the light will come, and that better days will come, and we always have those around us that will support us. And part of what's inspiring about that Facebook group is thousands of people for each of these posts that are out there. They put, you know, down in the comments that they're praying for that family or those that are in need. So we're talking thousands of prayers for each of these people that are dealing with this, from people that they don't know that are around the world. So there are good people in the world, and Dimash is one of them. And I thank all of you for supporting my channel and sticking with me through all this. And like I said, I'm going to try to do better about getting some more reactions out there, and I'm trying to improve my setup here. I'm hoping to get a new camera, better quality camera here soon, and I need to get a different set of headphones because I have larger ears, and my headphones don't quite fit over my ears. So it's kind of a funny challenge there, but I'm looking at new headphones as well. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of the reaction and of my channel. Hopefully you're out there looking at my other Dimash reactions and the other reactions I have out there. I think I'm up to like close to 90 reactions on my channel now. And of course, put in the comments the ones that you are hoping that I will do soon. The more kind of likes I get on a specific comment where it talks about a specific reaction, it's a way of voting for you to kind of let me know what you as a collective want to have me react to. So be sure to do that. And again, I hope all of you are healthy and happy, and that you are you have hope in your hearts for brighter tomorrows, and you're striving to pursue your dreams and not be mediocre, because none of you out there are mediocre. None of us are. And thanks again, and take care.